Sir, welcome to the Wisdom Ones channel, where we bring you words of encouragement, insight, and spiritual guidance. Today, I want to speak to you about something powerful and life-changing that will unfold in the coming month. This message isn't just for anyone. It's specifically for you. The one who feels a deep calling in your soul. The one who knows there is more to life than what you see around you. If you feel like you're meant for something extraordinary, then this message is meant to stir something within you. As you step into the future that God has prepared for you, it's important to remember the words of Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. These words were spoken by God to his people during a time of uncertainty and hardship, yet they carry a powerful promise. God has a plan for you, a plan filled with hope and purpose. No matter where you are right now, no matter the struggles you may face, trust that God's plan for you is good. This promise isn't just for the people in ancient times, it's for you today. Even when you don't see the full picture, even when the path seems unclear, God is already working behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail of your life. His plans for you are far greater than anything you could imagine, and his timing is always perfect. Your journey may be challenging, but rest in the assurance that God's purpose for your life will never fail. He is faithful to bring it to completion. Keep walking in faith, knowing that he is guiding you every step of the way. Before we dive in, I want to ask you to engage with this video. If you feel moved by what you hear, I encourage you to comment with the word December below. And don't forget to subscribe to the Wisdom Ones channel to continue receiving uplifting messages. Your participation helps this community grow, and together, we can continue spreading hope. Now, let's talk about what is going to happen in December. It's no coincidence that you're here today listening to these words. You are not here by chance. There's a greater plan unfolding, one that you are a vital part of. Have you ever felt, deep within your being, that your life was meant for something greater? Perhaps you've faced hardships, challenges, and moments that seemed impossible to overcome. Yet, through it all, there has been something inside you whispering that this journey is leading somewhere magnificent, a place you could not yet comprehend. It's a calling, the divine whisper that urges you forward, reminding you that you are not like the rest. This is not a message for everyone. It's for the chosen ones, those of you who have faced trials that should have broken you, but instead, they have refined you. You've walked through fires meant to purify you, not consume you. And though the road has been long and difficult, you are still standing. You might have wondered if God has seen your pain, heard your cries, or felt the weight of your heartache. The answer, dear one, is yes. He has been with you all along, preparing you for what is coming. He has seen every tear and heard every prayer, and he is about to do something incredible in your life. In December, things are going to shift in ways that will leave you in awe. It's not just a change you will experience. It's a radical transformation. The breakthrough you've been waiting for is closer than ever before. You are about to witness blessings that will overwhelm you, opportunities that will appear where there once seemed to be none. It's not a coincidence, and it's not by chance. This is divine timing. The time has come for God to open doors that no man can shut. The time has come for your life to take a turn toward fulfillment, purpose, and greatness. God has great plans for you, and now is the time to step into them. You may have faced struggles that left you feeling defeated, wondering if the promises you've held on to for so long will ever come true. Perhaps you've even questioned whether your faith has been in vain. I want to remind you today that God has not forgotten you. He sees you, he knows your heart, your struggles, and your desires, and he is preparing to lift you up from the ashes of despair and set you on a path of purpose that will blow your mind. Or it may feel like you've been stuck in the wilderness, like there is no way forward. But let me remind you of a powerful scripture from Isaiah 43:19. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall you not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. God is making a way for you, even in the most desolate and barren places. Your current situation is not where you will stay forever. There is a shift coming, and it will propel you into your purpose. In the coming month, you will begin to see things that seemed impossible become possible. You will feel a force pulling you towards something greater. It's as though your soul has been longing for this moment, and now it is here. You will experience a spiritual elevation, a lifting of your spirit to new heights. And this shift is not just about external circumstances. It is about what is happening within you. God is preparing your heart, your mind, and your spirit to receive what He is about to pour out. He is ready to bless you in ways you never imagined. This month of December is a time of great transformation. You are not meant to stay in the same place any longer. It's time to step into the future God has prepared for you, a future filled with purpose, abundance, and divine favor. Even when you feel discouraged or overwhelmed, remember that this is not the end. It is the beginning of something incredible. The trials you have faced are not for nothing. They have been shaping you, molding you, and preparing you for what is to come. Every difficulty, every setback has been part of God's plan to refine you and strengthen your faith. Now to Him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us, there is no limit to what God can do in your life. He is able to do far more than you can even begin to comprehend. Your dreams, your desires, your hopes are not too big for God. He is going to exceed your expectations in ways you never thought possible. But this moment requires action. You must step out in faith, even if you don't see the whole picture. Trust that God is guiding you, even when the path ahead seems uncertain. If you feel a pull to make a change in your life, whether it's in your career, your relationships, or your location, take that step. Trust that God is leading you to the place where your purpose will be fully realized. If you are being called to move, to leave behind what is familiar, know that it is a sign that something greater is ahead. This is a time to activate your faith and embrace the unknown. Just as Abraham stepped out in faith, not knowing where he was going but trusting in God's plan, so must you. God has a purpose for your life, and it's time to move forward with boldness and confidence. No matter how uncertain the journey may seem, know that God will provide for you. He will meet your every need according to His riches and glory. He will lead you to a life of fulfillment and abundance. So, chosen one, get ready. The best is yet to come. The doors that have been closed for so long are about to open. The blessings that you have been waiting for are about to pour in. Trust in God's timing and be ready to step into your destiny. The shift is coming, and it will change everything. This is your time. In the journey of life, we often find ourselves standing at a crossroads, unsure of which path to take. The weight of the world can feel heavy, and the future may seem uncertain. But in those moments of doubt, we are reminded that we are never truly alone. The calling on your life, the purpose that is embedded deep within you, is far greater than any struggle you may face. Embrace that truth, for you are divinely chosen for a specific reason. It may not always be easy, and there may be obstacles in your way, but God has already equipped you with everything you need to rise above them. It is in those times of hardship, when the journey feels most difficult, that you must remember to trust in the strength and guidance of the one who called you. There is a divine power at work in your life, one that cannot be shaken. Trust in that power because it will sustain you. The Bible says in 2 Corinthians 12:9, "But He said to me, My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." It is in our weakest moments that God's strength shines brightest. He doesn't need us to be perfect. He only asks that we trust Him. So, even when things feel impossible, know that with God, all things are possible. Remember, you are chosen. Your life has a purpose that transcends the struggles of today. In those quiet moments, when you feel overwhelmed, take a moment to pause and reflect on the fact that you are part of something much greater than yourself. It means God has not brought you this far to leave you. He has a plan for you, a plan to prosper you and give you a future filled with hope. As Jeremiah 29:11 assures us, this plan is not just for tomorrow. It is unfolding right now, in the choices you make, in the faith you live, and in the courage you muster to keep going. God's love for you is unfailing, and it is through that love that you will find the strength to press on. The love of God is the ultimate anchor for your soul. It is not based on your performance or your ability to succeed. God's love is constant, never wavering, no matter how much you may falter. Romans 38:39 reminds us that nothing can separate us from the love of God. no matter where you are or what you're going through. His love is with you, guiding you, lifting you up, and making a way when there seems to be no way. But it is not enough to simply know that you are loved. You must act on it. You must respond to the call of God even when it is hard. You must take the next step even when you feel afraid or uncertain. Faith is not about knowing everything in advance. It is about trusting God enough to take the next step, even when you cannot see the whole staircase. Trust in the process, trust in the journey, and trust that God is right there with you every step of the way. And while the journey may be long, you must remember that there is a divine purpose in it all. There is a greater plan unfolding before your eyes, and every moment, every challenge, every victory is a piece of the puzzle. Your faith is being refined and strengthened, and with every step, you are becoming more of the person God has called you to be. Trust in that process. Trust that He is working in ways you cannot yet see. But you must also take action. Don't just sit back and wait for things to happen. God is calling you to move, to step into the destiny He has prepared for you. Whether it's making a decision about your career, healing a broken relationship, or taking a leap of faith into something new, take the first step. You may not have all the answers right now, but if you step out in faith, you will see God move in powerful ways. He has promised to guide you, to provide for you, and to equip you for the journey ahead. As you go through this journey, remember that you are not alone. God has surrounded you with a community of believers who are walking alongside you. Together, we can support one another, encourage one another, and remind each other that we are chosen for greatness. The body of Christ is not meant to walk alone. We are meant to walk together, supporting and lifting each other up. So don't be afraid to reach out to others, to ask for help when you need it, and to offer your support in return. Together, we can accomplish so much more than we ever could on our own. And as you walk this path, remember that there will be times when you will feel weary. Life is not always easy, and sometimes the weight of it all can feel too much to bear. But even in those moments of weariness, you can turn to God for rest. You come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. When life becomes too much, take a moment to lay your burdens at the feet of Jesus. He offers rest for your soul, peace that surpasses understanding, and strength to face each new day. In times of trial and tribulation, you may question whether your faith is enough. You may wonder if the struggles you face are worth it. But let me assure you, your faith, no matter how small it may seem, is enough. 17:20. If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. Even the smallest act of faith is powerful in the hands of God. Your faith can move mountains. It can break chains, heal wounds, and change lives. Trust in the power of your faith, because it is far greater than you realize. As we continue on this journey, I want to encourage you to stay connected to God. Stay grounded in His Word, stay connected to His Spirit, and stay faithful to His calling. You are chosen, and your life, your destiny is unfolding before you. And with every step of faith, you are moving closer to the fullness of what God has prepared for you. I want to encourage you, as we go through this journey together, to share this message. Don't keep the light to yourself. There are so many who need to hear this message of hope, faith, and love. Share it with those who are struggling, those who are lost, and those who are weary. Be the voice that reminds them that they are not alone. Be the one who points them to the hope that is found in Christ. Together, we can spread the light of God's love and bring hope to a world that so desperately needs it. So, if this message has touched your heart today, I encourage you to comment December below and share your thoughts. And if you haven't already, take a moment to subscribe to the Wisdom Ones channel. This is a community of believers who are walking this journey together, supporting one another, and growing in faith. Don't miss out on the powerful words that God is speaking in this season. Together, we can embrace our calling, walk in faith, and see the mighty hand of God move in our lives in ways we never imagined. God has chosen you. You are called, and your best days are ahead. Stay faithful, stay hopeful, and trust in the power of your faith. The journey is just beginning, and the best is yet to come. As we come to the end of this message, it's important to pause and reflect on everything that has been shared, everything that you have received. In the stillness of your heart, take a moment to consider the words spoken, the encouragement provided, and the invitation to rise up into the fullness of who you are as a chosen one of God. We are often faced with trials, struggles, and uncertainties in this life, but the message of hope, faith, and divine purpose is one that transcends all of these challenges. It reaches deep within us, calling us to rise above the noise, above the fear, above the doubts, and to walk with boldness in the calling that God has placed on our lives. The journey may not always be easy, and at times we may find ourselves weary, burdened, and feeling like we are not enough. But in these very moments, it is important to remember that God's love for us is unfailing, and His presence is a constant source of strength. There are times in our lives when we may feel small, insignificant, or even overwhelmed by the weight of our circumstances. These moments can feel heavy, as if the struggles we face are insurmountable, and it can be easy to believe that we are too weak or too insignificant to make a difference. It is in these very moments of vulnerability and doubt that we must remind ourselves of an incredibly powerful truth. Even the smallest amount of faith can move mountains. This idea is beautifully illustrated in the Bible when Jesus speaks about the mustard seed. He uses this tiny seed, one of the smallest in the world, to demonstrate the immense power that faith, even in its most seemingly insignificant form, holds. The mustard seed is not just a symbol of smallness. It represents the potential for growth and transformation. While it starts as a tiny seed, it has the inherent ability to grow into a large tree, capable of providing shelter and nourishment. Similarly, the faith that might seem small at first, when placed in the hands of God, can grow and produce incredible results. It's important to understand that the power of this faith is not in its size, but in its connection to God. When we choose to trust, even in the smallest way, we are aligning ourselves with a limitless source of strength and power. It can be tempting to think that our faith must be perfect or monumental in order to have an impact. However, Jesus teaches us that even the most modest faith, like the mustard seed, is enough. It is not about how much faith we have, but rather where we place it and who we place it in. When we place our faith in God, no matter how small, we are placing it in the hands of mighty and capable Creator who can work miracles, heal wounds, and bring about transformation in ways we cannot even comprehend. In those moments when we feel like our faith is too small to make a difference, we must remind ourselves that it is precious. Even the tiniest bit of faith is more powerful than we can imagine. It holds the potential to bring forth the miracles, breakthroughs, and transformations we have been praying for. So no matter how small your faith may seem, know that it is enough. It is more than enough to set in motion the miracles you've been waiting for, because with God, nothing is impossible. In this life, there will be many seasons. There will be seasons of joy and celebration, and there will be seasons of hardship and struggle. But in every season, we must remain anchored in the hope that God has a purpose for us, and He is using every moment to shape us, mold us, and prepare us for the destiny that He has for us. When we find ourselves in difficult seasons, it is easy to lose sight of this divine purpose. We may question why things are not going the way we hoped, why the prayers seem unanswered, or why the breakthrough has not yet come. But we must trust that in God's perfect timing, everything will come together according to His will. We are not in control of the timeline, but God is, and He is faithful to fulfill His promises. Let us not forget that God's plan for us is not limited to the here and now. His plan is eternal, and it is rooted in His love for us. When we are walking in alignment with God's will, we are not just living for this moment, but for eternity. Our faith and obedience in this life have an eternal impact. It is easy to get caught up in the struggles of the present, but we must remember that God's eternal perspective is what truly matters. When we are faithful with what He has placed in our hands today, we are positioning ourselves for greater things tomorrow. God sees the beginning from the end, and He knows the full picture, even when we only see a small piece of it. We are called to step forward with courage, even when the path ahead of us feels uncertain and unclear. Life often presents us with moments where we don't fully understand the purpose or the direction we are meant to take. There are times when the way forward feels like a mystery, and we may question the steps we are about to take. But it is precisely in these moments that faith calls us to trust, even when the road is shrouded in uncertainty. Faith challenges us to keep moving, to keep pressing forward despite not having all the answers. It urges us to walk with confidence, even when we feel like we are walking in the dark, unsure of where each step will lead. In the time in the face of uncertainty, faith becomes not only a belief but a choice to trust in God's plan for us, even when we can't see the full picture. It calls us to obey, even when we don't understand the reasons behind each step. But in those times of uncertainty, it's important to remember that God is the light that guides us through the darkness. Even when the path is hidden from our view, He sees the entire journey, and His light is always present, illuminating the way ahead. His guidance is steady and sure, even when we are unsure of ourselves. When we walk in faith, we are not walking alone. God promises to be with us, to lead us, and to provide for us every step of the way. His presence is not just a distant hope, but a tangible reality that surrounds us, walking beside us through every challenge and every triumph. Even in the moments when we feel overwhelmed or uncertain, we can take comfort in knowing that God is walking with us. He does not leave us to navigate the unknown on our own. He is there, guiding us, offering His wisdom and His strength. The journey may be difficult at times, and the path may not always be clear, but we can trust that God has already mapped out every step we need to take. He knows the way, and He has equipped us to walk in it. Our role is to trust Him, to listen to His voice, and to obey His call. With every step we take, even in the dark, God is faithful to lead us into the light of His purpose. As we walk boldly into our purpose, we do so with the assurance that we are never truly walking alone. God is with us, and He will never leave us or forsake us. His faithfulness is unwavering, and His love will guide us through all things. As you continue on this journey, remember that God's calling on your life is not just for you, it is for those around you. The light that God has placed inside of you is meant to shine brightly for others to see. You are not meant to hide your light, but to let it shine. You are meant to be a vessel of God's love, grace, and truth in this world. Every step you take, every word you speak, and every action you take has the potential to impact those around you. You are part of a larger picture, part of God's divine plan to bring His kingdom to earth. Your life matters. Your calling matters. And the world needs what you have to offer. In those moments when the weight of the world feels unbearable and the desire to give up seems like the only option, it is crucial to remember the transformative power of hope. Hope is not a fleeting or passive emotion. It is not simply wishing for something to happen. Hope is a deep, steadfast confidence in the promises of God, a trust that He will fulfill what He has spoken over our lives. It is an unshakable belief that no matter what we are facing, God's plans for us are good, and He will make a way when there seems to be no way. Hope acts as the anchor for our souls, grounding us in the midst of life's storms. When everything around us feels uncertain and overwhelming, hope holds us firm, giving us the strength we need to endure even the most difficult trials. It doesn't mean that the challenges we face will disappear, but it gives us the courage to press on, even when we can't see the end of the road. Hope is what helps us to keep moving forward, step by step, when everything in us wants to turn back. When our hearts are filled with hope, we are able to see beyond our immediate circumstances. Instead of being overwhelmed by the present, hope allows us to lift our eyes and look to the future with confidence. It shifts our perspective, reminding us that our current struggles are not the end of our story. With hope, we know that God is always working, even when we cannot see it. He is orchestrating everything in our lives for a purpose, and though we may not understand it at the time, we can trust that He is using it for our good. Hope gives us the strength to face each new day with confidence, knowing that we are not alone. It is the assurance that God is faithful and that His promises are true. When we are filled with hope, we can face the trials of life with a sense of peace, knowing that we are not walking through them on our own. God is with us, walking beside us, guiding us through every moment. Hope is the fuel that keeps our hearts alive, even in the darkest of times. It is the reminder that no matter how hard life may get, God is working all things together for our good, and He will never leave us or forsake us. With hope, we can press on, knowing that the best is yet to come. Hope is what allows us to believe in the impossible, to trust that God will do what He has said He will do, even when the situation seems hopeless. Hope is the fuel that keeps us going when everything else seems to be falling apart. It is the belief that God's promises are true and that they will come to pass in His perfect timing. So, no matter what you are facing today, let hope rise up in your heart. Let it fuel your faith and give you the strength to keep moving forward. As we pause to reflect on the journey of life, it is essential to remind ourselves of one of the most powerful truths we can cling to. God's love for us is unshakable and unchanging. In a world full of uncertainties and shifting circumstances, where the tides of life can change unexpectedly, His love remains a constant, unwavering presence in our lives. No matter where we find ourselves, no matter what we are going through, God's love is with us, surrounding us, and sustaining us through it all. Psalm 7:38-39 beautifully assures us that nothing, absolutely nothing, can separate us from the love of God. It is a love that transcends every obstacle and stands firm in the face of adversity. Neither life nor death can diminish it. The things that might cause us fear, such as angels or demons, cannot break the bond of love that God has set in place. Not even the challenges of our everyday circumstances, with all their uncertainty and hardship, can tear us away from the love that God has for us. His love is not based on our behavior, our successes, or our failures. It is unconditional. God's love is far beyond anything we can comprehend fully in our human understanding. It is expansive, reaching into the deepest, darkest places of our hearts, as well as the highest moments of joy and triumph. There is no situation in our lives, no matter how difficult or challenging, where God's love cannot reach. No matter how far we feel from Him, His love is already there, waiting for us to embrace it. There is no valley so deep where His love cannot meet us, no mountain too high for His love to climb. In every moment, in every circumstance, we are held securely in the embrace of God's love. This love does not waver. It does not change when we falter or when we fall short. It is not conditional on our behavior or performance. God's love is simply a gift that He gives freely, and nothing in this world can take it away from us. No matter how lonely, discouraged, or lost we may feel, we can be assured that God's love is constant and will never leave us. This unchanging love is a source of strength and comfort, particularly when we are walking through difficult times. It is a reminder that no matter what we face, we do not face it alone. God is with us, and His love surrounds us, carries us, and brings us in moments of doubt or fear. His love is the anchor that holds us steady. It is the gentle reminder that we are valued, cherished, and never abandoned. As we journey through life, let us hold on to the truth that we are never separated from God's love. It is always with us, and it will never fail. No matter where we go or what we experience, we can rest in the assurance that His love is all-encompassing, never-ending, and fiercely protective. We are forever secure in the embrace of the one who loves us without condition, and that love will sustain us through everything life brings our way. In this season, I urge you to hold tightly to the love of God. Let it be the foundation upon which you build your life. Let it be the source of your strength, your courage, and your hope. When you know that you are loved by God, you can face anything that comes your way. His love is the anchor that keeps you grounded, and it is the force that propels you forward into the purpose He has for your life. As we come to a close, I want to leave you with an important message. Take action. These words, as encouraging and uplifting as they are, should not simply stir your heart and then fade into the background of your thoughts. No, let them move you to respond. Let them challenge you to make a decision, to take a bold step forward, to move with confidence in the direction God is calling you. Don't let this moment pass without making it count. Whether it's in your relationships, your career, your finances, or your walk with God, now is the time to take that step of faith. We all face moments when we feel uncertain or hesitant about the future. The path ahead might seem unclear, and it's easy to stay in a place of comfort, waiting for the right moment. But remember, faith is not about waiting for everything to fall into place. It's about trusting God even when things aren't clear, even when the road ahead looks challenging. God has already prepared a future for you, and He is calling you to step boldly into it. He has equipped you with everything you need to fulfill His purpose for your life, even if you don't see all the details yet. So the journey may not always be easy, but it will always be worth it. Each step you take in faith is a step closer to becoming the person God created you to be, and each action you take in alignment with His will brings you one step closer to fulfilling the purpose He has set before you. You are not just another person walking through life aimlessly. You are chosen. You are called by God. There is a unique plan for your life that only you can fulfill. There are people you are meant to reach, opportunities you are destined to take, and a legacy you are meant to leave behind. Do not let fear or doubt hold you back from stepping into that destiny. Do not let the weight of past mistakes or failures convince you that you are not worthy of God's calling. God has seen your struggles, and He is with you every step of the way, guiding you, providing for you, and strengthening you. To take that step of faith, trust that God is leading you. Even when it feels uncertain or challenging, trust that He will provide what you need, that He will open doors that no one can shut, and that He will make a way where there seems to be no way. Your obedience, even in small things, is what will unlock the bigger blessings that God has in store for you. And as you step out in faith, remember, you are not alone. God is with you, and He will never leave you. He is faithful to His promises, and His love for you is unchanging. You are more capable, more equipped, and more loved than you may even realize. As you trust Him and step boldly into the future He has prepared for you, know that you are walking in the strength of His presence. I encourage you to take that step today. Trust God. Move forward in faith. Let these words not just stir your heart, but become the catalyst for real change in your life. Your future is bright. Your purpose is clear. You are chosen, and God is with you every step of the way. Take action today and watch as He leads you into the fullness of His plans for your life. If this message has touched your heart, I encourage you to leave a comment below with the word December to affirm that you are standing in agreement with what God is doing in your life. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Wisdom Ones channel so you can continue walking this journey with us as we seek to grow in faith and in God's purpose for our lives. Together, we will rise, and together, we will see the mighty hand of God move in our lives in ways we never thought possible. You are a chosen one. You are not alone. You are loved by God, and His plans for you are good. Trust in His timing, trust in His faithfulness, and walk boldly in the calling He has placed on your life. Your best days are ahead of you, and God's blessings are about to overflow in your life. Stay faithful, stay hopeful, and stay connected to the source of all hope and joy. Your faith is more powerful than you realize. Keep trusting, keep believing, and watch as God does the impossible in your life.